Welcome, everybody, to Read, Watch, Play. We are live from the Kerwin's Game Store studio in Catskill, New York. And this is the show where we talk about what we read in comics, what we watched in superhero media, and what superhero games we played.
Yes.
This is episode 4. We made it. We made it to episode 4. Very exciting. And we got a lot to talk about today. And we're going to go ahead and get started with, well, first off, how was your 4th of July? I forgot, we haven't seen each other since last week.
It was something else. It was a nice 4th of July. It was a long weekend. We had a bear in my yard eating the garbage and so this is it. I have the best garbage in the neighborhood. Best garbage in the neighborhood. The bear came to my house twice.
Twice? Holy
and the
cow.
other two neighbors it only hit once, but me twice. So, of course, because I live where, that Catskill region begins, right? We have black bears. We are infamous for black bears, right? So, of course, it was a black bear. My neighbor got all the photos. We missed, thankfully, the only person who was actually home for it but never saw the bear was my mother. My mother's in the house. She comes out of the shower for church. This is Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And when she steps out of the shower, she goes to her bedroom, and there's lights outside. And she's like, the police are here? And there's just police everywhere. So there's a knock at the door. So my mom zips up this little bathrobe thing she has, and her the thing you wear, the shower cap is on her head. And she goes to the door. She's like, officer. And he's like, ma'am, there is a bear. We do not want to startle you. Right? And she's like... So my mom is horrified. And my brother was using her car, so he comes to pick her up for church, and they're outside, and my brother cleans up the mess the bear made, throws the garbage back in the canister, and moves the garbage cans back, right? And no one really had a long conversation with my mother about the bear attacks. Yeah. So now I come home. Man, I don't even remember what I was doing Sunday morning. But I come home in the afternoon. She's still at church. And the trash can is laid out.
Again, for the second time.
Yeah, I know what I was doing Sunday morning. I was watching Wonder Woman for the 3rd time.
Nice.
So that
we're going to talk about that later.
On their watch, yes.
Yeah.
So, and I have fabulous lunch. It was fabulous lunches all weekend, that too. So anyhow.
Even for the bear.
Yeah, oh my God, especially for the bear. Second attack from the bear. And part of what provoked this was our garbage company did not fully collect my garbage on Friday. I tried to flag the guy down on Saturday who was making a special trip in my neighborhood. He ignored me and rolled right out. Wow. So we canceled that service, got a new service. All the garbage is removed. I'm waiting for new canisters, so all the garbage is hiding in my house while we wait for new canisters. I also got one of those buckets from Lowe's or Home Depot that you get, right, that you normally mix paint in, and I filled it with, 1/3 ammonia, 2/3 water the bear be like, oh, ammonia, let me get away from here.
So, do you think the bear, as he was wandering around, so he hit your place, it gets all messy, he goes, and then your brother picked it all up and cleaned it. Yep. Then when he came back around, he said, "Oh, I haven't been here yet," and went back to your place.
Or maybe they freshened up for me.
Ooh, course number 2.
Yeah. So, and just to really make it very uncomfortable, he left bear poo behind.
Oh. So I used to live up on Windham Mountain, which is up in the northern Catskills, right? The very northern top of the Catskill Mountains and the Catskill Park. And we had barbecued one day. And then we had, we came in, we were sitting in our living room, and we had, sliding glass doors in our living room to our backyard where the barbecue was. And then there was this little tree line with a break in the tree line with a little path that went over to the next property, which was a bed and breakfast that we were managing at the time. And it couldn't have been more than, I'd say 30 feet from our back door to this tree line where the path was. And we had barbecued, and we had sort of picked everything up, and then we had moved in. We were eating at the table, and then we had sat down in the living room, and I'm looking, and the curtains were open, and the glass door was there, and this probably teenage bear just comes walking through and goes right through the tree line and through the path into the next property. And it was we had been inside for probably 20 minutes. So
he must have loved that barbecue.
Yeah, he didn't have any barbecue. He just walked right by it.
But he smelled it. He must have been on the trail. Holy cow.
Yeah, so bears are fun. Yeah. So let's move on to our first segment, and that is going to be, what did we read? What did we read?
So, I feel bad because I didn't read any of my comics this week, but in all the weekend commotion, crazy bears and trips and all the other things that I had going on, I read 2 trades because, the trades I read before new comics came out this week. So, and then the holiday came and everything got in disarray. So Saturday and Sunday night I was reading. Saturday night, I picked up the brand new Suicide Squad, Justice League versus Suicide Squad Rebirth.
I was actually at the Diamond Comics Retailer Summit when they announced that this event was coming, and they showed us this artwork. I love the artwork where it's, Harley Quinn's got the Wonder Woman's lasso, and she also has something else. I think she has Green Lantern's ring. She does. She has. Yeah. She's got Green Lantern's ring right there.
Yeah,
right
and
there.
Deadshot has Katana sword, or Batman has Deadshot's eyepiece and Katana sword. And of course this makes no sense. It's like, you read the cover and you're like, oh, it's an epic, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, an epic, right? So it actually is really good. Like, I was so...
Really? Because I thought about picking this up.
I want to tell you, the first time I heard about this, I'm like, you look like such trash. I'm not even going to lie. I was just like, you're trying to win me over with garbage, and I'm tired of it. Because, like, I'm an older comic book reader, so, there's a lot there, guys. There's a lot. And Rebirth, I was slowly edging into... So, and of course, this features Superman as he's still piecing together the mysteries of, the forgotten time and the Superman that he should be in this timeline. Which is cool because there's a lot going on, right? So the thing that made me interested in this, so I tried to collect the original issues and I didn't get them all. So then when I saw the trade, I'm like, okay, to heck with this, I'm getting the trade. So what drove me into this was an additional Task Force X or Suicide Squad, right? That featured Emerald Empress from Legion of Superheroes. So I was in. I'm like, okay, it's Emerald Empress, I'm in because I love Legion.
Okay.
And but also Johnny Sorrow, who's a major Justice Society of America villain. Where like he like reveals his face and you just see all these horrors and you're disintegrated. And
sounds like my mother. Hopefully she's not watching.
You've made it. You've survived worse, I see. And Lobo is there, and there's this guy, Ratsum. Oh, I wish I had written this down. But anyhow, so he has a flaming sword, and he was their original leader. And he's basically like an assassin. He's not really a villain, but they were all imprisoned by Amanda Waller.
Wow.
Because their mission went horribly, and she was like, nope, lock you all up. I got to find another way to control people. And of course, this is before the Zod event that I was like going crazy about in our first episode.
Oh, wow.
But it was really good. Also, our main character, there's a lot of main characters in the story. Clearly, like Amanda's one of them. But the one that was a surprise to me, and this is a beautiful setup to Steve Orlando's Justice League of America. Mm-hmm. So one of the main characters in this story is Killer Frost. They're bringing her in to be part of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But what we're discovering throughout this massive course of events, right, which it becomes Justice League versus Suicide Squad versus, Maxwell Lord's Suicide Squad, right? It just it gets crazy, and it does go to epic proportions, right?
So it lives up to the hype.
It does, and I was really shocked. I was very happy. It's very good.
I'm gonna pick this one.
I'm very much recommending this.
Wow.
As we're building up to that, we're learning a lot about Caitlin, and Superman is appealing to her the whole time. In fact, I love it so much I want to tweet Steve Orlando and tell him I want more Superman Caitlin moments. In the future. So of course this story helps us understand how Caitlin and Lobo end up in Batman's Justice League of America. So I don't want to ruin that for you guys. I mean, we know that they end up on a team with Batman, but this story definitely sets that up, and we learn a lot more about her character.
Oh, that's very cool. Because Lobo is actually one of my favorite characters, as I mentioned in a previous episode. And I've thought about trying to jump in, to Justice League of America, but it's nice to know that this is sort of an easing in point for that. So maybe I'll pick this one up and then move on to JLA.
Personally, I feel like you could pick up that Justice League of America 0 and go forward, you're fine because the 0 just kind of sets up Batman building the team. But if you wanted more context, then yes, this will ease you in even further because you meet these characters and see what was going on, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is what they're thinking about. This is what Batman's thinking about, and of course the fact that Superman's kind of on board with the whole thing because he's like, they're not all villains, or there's still some good in them. So I like that.
Leave it to Superman to see the good.
Well, you should have seen his face when Maxwell Lord popped up on the screen. Right? Because like they're all like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And Amanda Waller's like, well, someone's after me, and boop, Maxwell Lord, and Superman's like, eyes flaring with heat vision. He's the most dangerous of them all. Stay away from him. He's the worst. Like, because Superman still remembers all the pre-52 stuff.
Right.
So he's like, Maxwell Lord is the most dangerous threat of like everything we're looking at, and we're talking about Emerald Empress and Lobo, characters that Superman is familiar with, and he's like, Maxwell Lord is the most threatening.
Wow.
He's like, clearly he has talked all of them into this. He's the most threatening.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, do I even need to ask if it's a woo or a boo?
Oh, it's a woo! It's a big woo. Big woo.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I didn't read anything new this week, but I did read from last week. But if you're a hardcore Trek fan, you'll know that in the original series and the episode Mirror Mirror, they Kirk is transported to this mirror universe. And the Federation is evil, it's the Terran Empire, it's all this stuff, and he convinces Spock, evil Spock, Mirror Universe Spock, that there's a better way. And he tries to convey the message from the Prime Universe Federation to Spock to institute some changes in his universe. And he's successful. He convinces him that there is a better way. Flash forward past the Next Generation into Deep Space Nine.
Spock alone couldn't fix that universe.
Well, what ends up happening is that in Deep Space Nine, they revisit that universe for the first time. The first and only time. Oh, no.
No, it's not the only time.
They go back in Enterprise. But
yeah, they do.
Before all of this, and so in Deep Space Nine, they visit this universe, and you find out that the Terran Empire has crumbled because of what Kirk had instilled in him, and the Klingon Cardassian alliance, which Bajor is a major seat in that empire, has taken over control of most of the quadrant, has enslaved the Terrans, humans, and is forcing them to work on Terok Nor, which is the space station from Deep Space Nine, to mine ore from the asteroid belt around Bajor. And so this whole juxtaposition of these two universes, and you see that the events that what Kirk did actually changes in not a great way that universe. So the Next Generation never touched on that in canon, in live action canon. Yeah. And so this is an opportunity for them to go back and tell that story. But you may be thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute. In Deep Space Nine, they told us that the Terran Empire crumbled and it doesn't exist anymore and all this other stuff. Yeah. Well, it turns out in this comic, and there was actually a free comic book days when this story started.
Oh, wow.
And then there was issue 1 and then issue 2.
I love the waist sashes. It's great.
Oh, yeah. And those are from the original series, and they've got the knee-high boots, that's sort of like from, World War II, German, Italian, World War II and everything. And so what you find out is that everything that they're saying in Deep Space Nine is a kind of a bunch of propaganda. And so the Terran Empire may still exist by then, but definitely in Next Gen, it's been contained to Earth's solar system.
Okay.
And they've all come to there. Picard is the captain of the Stargazer still.
Okay.
And he has Data, who's half Borgified. He's known throughout the Federation as the captain with the crazy captain with the robot guy. That's how they know him. And Counselor Troy is called the Inquisitor. And he runs it very much like the evil universe. And
I love that she's an Inquisitor. It's quite appropriate.
And there's even a part where he uses her to scan his crew to maintain their loyalty, and if there's any bad eggs, he can sort of sort them out. It's really cool. In the Free Comic Book Day issue, it's told from the point of Reginald Barkley, of all people, who is this minor character from TNG.
He's not even that minor. I love
he's not anymore, but when he started,
he was teleporter guy, man. I'm afraid of getting on the teleporter, and he was right.
He has a narcosis named after him. It's Barclay's transport disease or something.
Yeah,
narcosis,
he's in Star Trek First Contact.
He is in Star Trek First Contact.
And he's prevalent in Voyager.
He's in the later seasons because he's one of the guys that's on the Pathfinder mission trying to get them home.
Yes.
So it's sort of the first issue, sort of the Free Comic Book Day issue, sort of told from his. And
Barclay's also super smart.
He is. He's really smart, and he's just sort of socially awkward, And so in this, he's struggling with how do I be more than what I am, and in this world, it means having to conspire to kill people and be on the captain's side. So the whole plot of this story so far has been that Picard learns of a new starship being built by the Empire that's gonna usher in this new age of offensive.
So there's only two things he could be thinking: destroy it, or I want it for myself.
He's gonna take it, and of course the ship is this brand new Galaxy class starship called the Enterprise. And so in the first two issues he's recruiting members of his crew, loyal members of his crew, to go on this this impossible mission of stealing the ship from the Utopia Planitia shipyards.
Well, if anyone could, the regular universe version of this cruise.
So it turns out that Riker is the first officer of the Enterprise.
Oh, wow.
Before it's launched.
Okay.
And so he needs his help. He doesn't need his help, but I think he does. But he finds him on a bar on Mars, and he says, I'm going to steal your ship, and I want you to help me. And, and he's like, whatever. And he's like, look, if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. And he goes, you want to bet? And Riker punches him, and then they literally get in a 3-page fist fight in this bar. Over, who's the more dominant one, and it ends with them. The bar's empty. There's everything's, everywhere, and then, Riker's like, "All right, talk." And Picard's like, "Well, let me get you a drink first." And then I
really got to bite my tongue on my thoughts on that situation.
I'll tell you. Look at look at the forearms, man.
Yeah,
look at the
they're
muscles on those
both
guys.
in their prime.
Look, and in fact, there's a scene where Picard is working out, and somebody tries to assassinate him. So
no, don't do that.
It's
even in real life, you don't want to pull that with Patrick Stewart.
It's true.
Did you see how he savaged Time Warner 7 years ago on Twitter? It happened, people. It happened.
So I highly recommend this story. Because the thing is, they oftentimes IDW will do these one shots. They did one called Deviations, where it's what if the Romulans had made first contact instead of the Vulcans, and those are fun and all, but this really gets fleshed out, and you really get to see these characters in the Mirror Universe. The artwork is amazing. It's written by the Tipton brothers, I think,
it is Tipton.
Yeah, and I think it's Dave Tipton, and I honestly forget the other one's name. I apologize.
This is why we should make more notes in front of us. We make notes only to forget these things.
This is true, but I do want to touch on the artwork in this book is amazing. J.K. Woodward does the art in this, and it's painted.
Beautiful!
It's painted. It looks. Is
it supposed to be a limited series?
I don't know if it's a limited series,
I see nowhere on the cover where it
no. And in fact, so you see the artwork on the cover here. This is the same artwork in the book.
That's
all
amazing.
The pages. It's incredible, and is
that Barkley hiding in the background?
That's Barkley in the background.
Right.
That's LaForge. Yep. Right there. He's got different things on. So he was a technician on the Enterprise, and so that's where he who he learns about it from, and so Picard enlists LaForge to help get this, to help steal it, and so there's some other things that happen. I'm not giving away everything, but it's just they do a really good job with the characters. It's very well.
So did you read
and
issue? So you've read the Free Comic Book Day issue 1 and issue 2?
Issue 1 and issue 2, yeah.
Okay, good.
So and so far it's been fantastic.
I'm assuming this is also a woo.
It's a big woo. Woo! I mean, I've never read a not prime timeline story that felt as fleshed out and real and the world has been built as this one in just the 2.5 issues I've read.
Wow.
It's very well done. And the artwork is, at first the artwork was a little weird because the heads are very like photorealistic for being a painting, and then the bodies, it was just sort of like there was some awkward matches, but then I really got into it, and then when I found out it was all painted, I was like, this is incredible. I mean, the guy, I can't tell you, and I can't say enough how great the artwork is. So
amazing.
So
now I'm gonna have to check it out.
You should definitely check it out. It's I was very impressed, and it's just a lot of fun, and so that's going to bring us to the other trade that you read.
Oh, this is the other volume 1.
This isn't the one that you read?
That's not the one I read. I read the classic volume 1.
Oh, the classic volume 1,
which was the other day for me, by the way.
I'll find that right now. But so tell me about the classic Wonder Woman.
So I was reading Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman Volume 1.
He also wrote this,
right? Because he's currently the writer, and now he's leaving, and now. James Robinson is coming in, who I love, but he's coming in with a story about Diana's brother. So it's caused uproar all over the freaking internet because everyone's like, really? You have new Wonder Woman comic book readers fresh off the Wonder Woman movie, and the story you're going to be giving everybody is a story about Jason, Wonder Woman's mysterious lost brother, who you would hope would have been written out of continuity because no one's addressed him in like 4 years or something like that. So yeah,
Wonder Woman has a brother?
Jason, yes, the only male born on Paradise Island. Unless this is a family show, so I can't get into the hardcore one where the Amazons would take advantage of and murder pirates to produce heirs, and then the male heirs, they sent them all to live with Hephaestus, and that was under the the beginning of New 52 Wonder Woman. Oh, wow. Did I make that sound family friendly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the one? No, that's not the one.
That's also very good, but I haven't caught up on that one. There we go. So there it is. Yeah, baby. Right. Yeah. So that's not going to be very big. That's good enough. We know what we're talking about. So yeah. So this is Greg Rucka's front. All of these issues, but it was on sale for Wonder Woman Day, and I decided to go get back in touch. And you know what's really funny? I realized by missing a few of these issues, I really missed a lot of context of the story. Wow. So the first thing included in this volume is Greg Rucka's first story of Wonder Woman, which was a standalone trade called The Hecate, where this girl has come to Wonder Woman and taken this thousands of year old tradition of asking someone for guardianship, right? Please protect me. I'll be your loyal servant, etc. Wonder Woman says yes to this girl without really knowing what's going on. Batman is after her because she's a murderer. Oh, right. Sure. And the three Furies or the three Fates are tormenting Wonder Woman. They're like, what are you going to do with this girl? You don't even know if you could trust her. Once princess, once goddess. Because she was the princess of the island, and the island was devastated in the Paradise Lost storyline. She was a goddess. She was the goddess of truth when she died, and her mother was running around as World War II Wonder Woman. So the Fates have no problem talking to her, once princess, once goddess. Like the whole time, they're like rubbing that in her face. Wow. And she's currently ambassador to the United States for Themyscira. Right? And she hasn't had a big outing yet. She actually just got over her big outing with the Amazons because during Phil Jimenez's run with Paradise Lost, she loses her crown. She's running around as Wonder Woman without the tiara.
Ooh.
You know, it's like that was a big deal. So now she's back to full ambassador status for the island. You know, so now she's there in the embassy. The girl is working for her. The girl grabs her lasso and says, "Let me tell you the truth. I did murder these men because I wanted to know what happened to my sister. And then they used me and abused me in all these different ways. And then when I finally, grew strong enough, I took revenge because that was the law. Because I studied all this Greek text."
Mm-hmm.
And Diana's holding her and comforting her, and she goes, "That was the law 3,000 years ago." She goes, "Go to bed, and we're going to work out what we do tomorrow." Right? And then, of course, this leads to her actual confrontation with Batman, where she defeats him in combat, which I think is very important.
Wonder Woman defeats...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I don't understand why people want to be unrealistic in their love and support of somebody.
Yeah.
I love Superman. He should win almost every battle, but he's not going to win every battle that features magic, like Enchantress in Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Okay. He's a being made up of solar power, and Killer Frost feeds on heat energy, like in Suicide Squad versus Justice League, or Justice League versus Suicide Squad. So I'm just saying, there are ways to... Superman doesn't necessarily need to win every fight, and I accept that because there's good storytelling. Okay, it's just like I can't stand Batman always winning because it's no longer good storytelling.
Right.
In fact, if people really want to play up Batman being a detective, y'all need to step up your game on being a detective and like telling a good mystery story. Because if I'm figuring things out in issue 1 or episode 2 of Flash, whatever the case may be, y'all need to step it up. Step it up hardcore. That said, this was very good, and that's the opening book. And I'm not going to ruin the end of it, but yes, she defeats him in combat, and he tries to get all sneaky with her because it's Batman.
Yeah.
But the fates are there, and they're like, well, do what you must. Once princess, once goddess. We know how this ends.
Wow.
They're so horrifying. So then we begin Greg Rucka's actual run, and the main focus is Diana publishing her memoir book. And of course the publishing company has a big sexy cover that they're all excited about, and they're like, actually, this is what Diana would like, and it's just her lasso in a circle, right? And like, this is exactly what she wants, and if you're not on board, she will go to another publisher, and they're like, we'll have print copies in the morning, they're all about it. And we are seeing this Wonder Woman. We start off the Wonder Woman storyline by her new lawyer, Jonah, who joins the embassy. Mm-hmm. And so he's just wowed the whole time. He meets Superman, who drops off a copy of Wonder Woman's manuscript that he himself edited, and I think he wrote the foreword for her book or something like that. Like, really great. He's like, oh my God, Superman is here. He knows my name. And they're like, yeah. He stops by all the time. It's cool. And then, like, after all that, and he keeps trying to talk to Wonder Woman, and he's like, and he's like, your ambassadorship, whatever. She's like, Jonah, like, cool, like, you work for me, call me Diana, right? And that's the setup. And while this is happening, Greg Rucka introduces a new character who he wishes to be, and she does appear in that other Wonder Woman Volume 1. She is in Wonder Woman Lies. Veronica Cale. He brought her back. She is Wonder Woman's Lex Luthor.
Wow.
Okay? Now, you might remember, for some of you who've read something a little more mainstream than Wonder Woman, I can't believe I have to say that, right? In 52, if everyone remembers the series 52, Veronica is one of the scientists who are kidnapped on Oolong Island, right? And then, of course, she's the one who goes outside to go like step up against Black Adam. Black Adam finds them because the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse escaped, and one of them was in his midst, unfortunately, right? So she's like standing there, like ready to face Black Adam, and he's like, "Okay, insignificant, get out of my way," and like proceeds to like go investigate what's happened. And of course, she's shut down. Now, I'm saying too much about that Veronica Cale versus her here in this moment. She doesn't like Wonder Woman immediately because Wonder Woman is afforded all the privileges by just being Wonder Woman that Veronica has fought and clawed and worked for all her life. To be a powerful, intelligent, impressionable woman. Mm-hmm. And Wonder Woman just walks in and gets whatever she wants. So, of course, she gets a copy of her book, mm-hmm. and then she sets this guy up with all the info that he needs to, like, start taking the book apart. And, of course, he's one of those guys who's, very, very religious. So all of Diana's pagan roots and philosophies are horrible, and we must stand against her. And so and that guy's there, and then that guy gets shot. And then everything escalates on both sides of the equation. And so Wonder Woman goes to Ares to be like, I'm suspecting you. And he's like, Diana, please. You taught me a long time ago not to meddle in human affairs with war, because war will destroy them all. And then there's no one left to worship me, and I won't be powerful. He goes, I get so much more by letting the humans live. Look at all the lust and the greed. It's wonderful. He's like, so I'm not your enemy here, Diana. I won't lift a finger to hurt the humans or the Amazons. You can put the lasso on me if you want. He's like, but basically, you got to look at what's going on in your midst. So what's going on in her midst is Veronica Cale got in charge of the lab that holds Dr. Psycho, who's a classic Wonder Woman villain, who's totally disgusting, sexist, rapist. Can I say that word?
Sure.
Okay. Well, family friendly. This is a really deep, dark character.
This seems like
and even Veronica Cale is like, you're like disgusting and you should die, but I need you.
Oh, wow.
So she thinks it's okay, right, to play games, right, and kind of let him roam free to torment Wonder Woman. Well, of course, he's a nasty, arrogant, evil, little, sexist pig gremlin. So not only does he torment Wonder Woman, and it's his mental powers that are festering the two groups, the pro-Wonder Woman group and the anti-Wonder Woman group, to attack each other, right? But then he starts using his powers to pose as Veronica Cale while he keeps her bound, gagged, and locked up in a closet in her own office.
Whoa.
So Veronica's personal, director of medical, whatever, that doctor is with her. And the guy who's in love with Veronica, but is in love with the illusion Veronica, not the real Veronica, they're kidnapped. And Wonder Woman starts piecing everything together because Wonder Woman can see the truth because she has the eyes of Athena. Actually, no, I'm not sure. I think it's because she has the lasso of truth. Later on in Wonder Woman's mythology, she gets the eyes of Athena. That's not. I'm jumping ahead, and I assumed wrong. But anyhow, she could still see the truth. So she's seeing all these people, these crowds frantic in Veronica's building. She lassos them, compels them to snap out of it. So the lasso of truth is quite powerful in helping break illusions as she goes after Dr. Psycho. And the other thing, Veronica, and I'm not going to tell you how that resolves, you should definitely read it. But one of the other things that happen is Vanessa comes after. I can never get Vanessa's last name right. It's Greek. It's like Campanellis or something like that. But Vanessa attacks her again as Silver Swan. Right now she's like a cyborg Silver Swan. Her hair's all messed up, and Veronica purchased her from Sebastian something, who was the male cheetah that Circe had created. In the previous one. I'm really hoping they collect those stories. I'm dying already over it. And so, Wonder Woman stands her ground against her, and she's like, I'm your friend. I'm not going to hurt you. I want to rehabilitate you. So those are the major things happening in here. And then, of course, fabulous pinups. Great book. It's big. It's like a $30 trade or $40 trade.
How many issues is it?
It's a lot of issues, especially, and it includes the whole Hecate in there too. I mean, I wish I had a breakdown for you, but it's a lot. Justice League versus Suicide Squad was also like $40, but there's 5 issues of Justice League versus Suicide Squad, plus all the crossover issues are in there as well. So
I like it when they do that.
Yeah,
so.
I do. And again, you know how I am about price points. So as far as bang for your buck, and I had 2 great evenings over the weekend reading them. Great. I definitely and there's wonderful artwork in here. There's some Shane Davis and the art from J.G. Jones, that's his artwork on the cover for Wonder Woman. There's some good stuff in there. A great read. So yeah, another woo.
All right. So that is going to take us to our next segment, which is what did we watch?
Yeah.
So first up, let's talk about.
Oh Lord.
Yes. Did you watch it?
I watched the trailer.
The Inhumans trailer.
Yes. I watched the full quality trailer.
So this is we had mentioned on our first episode that there was a leaked trailer, but now this is the official trailer release. This is an ABC television production with Marvel, and they filmed at least the pilot episode with IMAX cameras.
Yes.
And it will premiere in IMAX on September 1st.
Yep.
And then the series will continue on ABC, I think at the end, I think a month like September 28th or something like that. So, so thoughts on the trailer?
It was good. I don't know if I'm convinced to go see this in IMAX.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I love Lockjaw. Okay, and
Lockjaw was probably the best thing.
And that's problematic, don't you think? That Lockjaw is the best thing in the trailer.
I agree.
And the actors seem good.
And Karnak, the guy who plays Karnak, I think
I like the guy who plays
great.
Karnak.
He was on Lost and
and what's his name? The guy playing Maximus is from Game of Thrones.
Great.
Yeah, but he didn't woo you, right?
He did not woo me at all.
Nothing wooed me. I saw Crystal being dragged away in handcuffs, in the human space. I don't know. It's so sterile.
Was that Crystal or Medusa?
No, no. Medusa's in the other scene. Crystal's the one in the yellow and black.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
With the hair, the black in the hair.
Yeah.
Because I think Medusa was also
in front of her husband.
Yeah.
And then it's only when Maximus thinks that his brother would dare kill him that he's ready to shoot him down, but Lockjaw takes him away.
The interesting thing. So the first issue I had. So I watched it. I watched it once. I was very unimpressed. I liked the Star Trek Discovery trailer better than this one.
Well, I'm saying a lot coming from you.
Yeah,
I love that trailer. By the way, I was like, "Ooh, I'm ordering CVS."
So I watched it the first time, and I was like, "Ooh." Then I watched it again today in preparation for the show, and I noticed a couple of things that I actually liked. I love that they're going full on with Black Bolt's voice. Mm-hmm. Like at one point he just goes and like blows a car, like
a whole street. Just shaking and quaking.
So because I was worried that they were gonna like diminish his
they diminished Medusa.
I mean
maybe you don't have the special effects budget for it, but actually that's a huge problem. If you're gonna wow the people who've been waiting for this, especially the people who know, there needed to be in the trailer a scene of Medusa's hair doing it.
Well, the thing is so I liked that they're going full on with his voice. I loved. There were a couple of shots where the lighting looked good. Where I was like, oh, this could look really good in IMAX. Because I was worried. I was like, it's a TV budget. They're shooting it in IMAX. Like I know Game of Thrones has done it, but I mean Game of Thrones is an established, established show that that operates on I think $3 million an episode or something like that. $5 million an episode. I mean, so they have.
I mean, the budget got tighter. That's why the last few seasons are less episodes.
Right, and the thing that I'm. That I was worried about is like, this is an ABC show. How is it going to look on IMAX? You know, but there were some scenes. There was, I think, Karnak was walking down this hallway. The light was behind him. The framing, the lighting, it looked amazing. The shadows, all that stuff was great. And Lockjaw looks insanely amazing. Yeah, and they went full on with it. I mean, it's
but you know what? Even with that, like Lockjaw appearing at the moon or wherever they were, and taking him away to Earth, that scene looked great. But the scene of Lockjaw where it appears like he's in the throne room or something,
and he's like playing.
Yeah, when he's like playing, like that looked so like terribly fake in comparison. It was adorable, but it looked so I could see through this, and so of course that's very problematic for me because.
Well, and the thing I'm worried about is these concerns we're having. We're watching on a TV screen in possibly HD, and they're blowing this up to IMAX,
right? And like, what's that?
It's just going to exaggerate any issues that they have.
Exactly, and then you're going to think, how are people going to feel paying that IMAX theater money, right? Because like, what is it, like $17 a ticket if I'm rounding up?
If it's in 3D, it's like $18 a ticket.
Yeah.
If it's not, it could be as low as $12 to $14, $15, $16.
I don't think I've ever paid less than $13 for an IMAX theater.
I mean, I'm very concerned. The other thing that I'm concerned with is, much like the Discovery trailer, is like I feel like it's style over substance. And even then, I don't think the style looks that good.
No, it doesn't. I feel like they're going for this like space age minimalist thing, but it's so boring.
I completely agree. I was like, wow, the sets look bare.
Yeah, they do.
Know?
I like the throne with the freaking Black Bolt's bolts shooting up the throne. I thought that was great.
It looks. I mean,
and there's nothing else.
The thing I'm worried about is I feel like they're trying to make Game of Thrones in space / Marvel Universe. And I don't think it's going to translate well. And I think, because the thing is like, you either go full on with the characters. Like, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, like, they took their characters and they went full throttle.
Yes,
and they made it work.
They put their foot on that pedal and kept going.
Okay? Then, in the opposite, you have characters like Ant-Man, where they sort of pulled back a little bit.
There was quite a bit of throttle on Ant-Man, I feel.
But it was also a good story.
Yes,
like a good story. I mean, even though Ant-Man's my least favorite Marvel movie of all of them, but that's another conversation.
Not even Iron Man 2 is lower?
I like Iron Man 2.
I mean, I like Iron Man 2 too, but I mean,
think it's much better than Ant-Man.
No, as far as overall enjoyment, and I like walked away laughing. I mean, Ant-Man has got it.
We'll have to have this conversation again, because we should do like a top 10 superhero movies of all time.
Oh my god, it'll be a bloodbath.
Yeah. So and then like the top 3 worst superhero movies of all time. Not that Ant-Man's in my worst, but anyway.
We already know one of my worst.
But what I mean is like they other times they've taken the characters, they've injected the essence of the character, and sort of tone down the powers and whatever, and still had the essence, but told a really good story. I feel like this is going to be none of that.
Yeah, I'm very afraid.
It's going to look bad. It's not going to be entertaining. It's not going to be, exciting. It's not going to be good storytelling. It's not going to be provocative.
When everyone I know is saying, I'm tuning in for Lockjaw, that's rough. However, oh my lord, the Inhumans.
So I think it's safe to say that we're probably on some soft booze.
Yeah. That trailer is a boo. Oh my goodness.
Full on boo, huh?
Oh, it's a full on boo. It is not. First of all, it's basically telling me I do not want to run to the theater and spend my money on an IMAX experience.
I mean, I'm going to anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to anyway. I'm going to go see it in IMAX because...
Before we get to this, I need to squeeze one more.
Sure.
Yeah, because I'm going to go see Spider-Man tonight.
That's on the list.
Okay, thank God.
It's the last thing we're going to talk about.
So.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So next up is the Wonder Woman is now the highest grossing DCE movie out of all of them, which is super exciting because it proves to the Warner Brothers executives
and the world
that if you make a good movie,
yes,
people will pay money to see it.
Yes, and it can have an all-star female cast and a female director, and it can succeed.
Yes. So that in just 4 films, which it took Marvel almost twice that many to hit $3 billion.
They were the first to do it. There was a lot of ground to break. But also, never underestimate Wonder Woman. Don't.
That's definitely the message.
That is very much the message.
But I want to know your thoughts on this now. Everybody compares Marvel and DC, whether it's fair or not.
Which is nauseating to me, and I feel it's created a lot of the problems I have with the DC EU. I feel they're calling it DCEU?
DC Extended Universe.
Oh, I just don't love that.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there where, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's just horrible.
It doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, the DCMU makes more sense.
Yeah.
The DC movie universe, all right? I am... okay, I feel like because everyone has to set the tone of it's DC versus Marvel and the differences, I feel, and especially when you've got Kevin Kevin Feige over on Marvel, really delivering, and everything is pretty much his brainchild. I mean, everybody gets to bring the directors, the writers, all bring in their own flavor, but it's his brainchild. The DC universe is the brainchild of Zack Snyder, who, although I previously really loved what he did with Watchmen, and I thought that was showing me that his love of comics to screen, I was very wrong, because what it was really showing me is he likes this dark storytelling, and that's more of his motif. And I've never seen the DC universe that way. Like, that is just, and I mean, I've definitely seen darkness in the DC universe. Batman's full of it. We get it. And Batman movies can be dark because, I get it. It's Batman. It's what we associate him with. But I associate Superman and Wonder Woman with brightness and hope. And although their movies actually had sunlight in them, there could have been more. And I'm not going to get into it because I know it always starts a fight with my not loving Man of Steel and my very much not loving Batman v Superman. But I like Wonder Woman, and it's strong, and I'm hoping now they're going to shift that vision a little bit more. I don't know what they need. It just I feel like Kevin's direction and Kevin's feeling on Marvel is good. And I'm not saying the Marvel movies are all perfect or whatever. I'm just saying they're all very enjoyable. I haven't watched one where I really hated any of them. I own all of them. I mean, actually the one for me that was very weak recently was actually Doctor Strange, because I'm sorry, but a movie where a magic cape that I equate to the magic carpet in Aladdin is stealing scenes from the actors.
So good. That's my favorite part of
right, it's my favorite part of the movie. So if that's what I have to say about the movie, what's up with your movie?
So here's the thing, is that Kevin Feige, a lot of people don't know this, or at least it's not prevalent in their minds, but he has been working on Marvel movies since before there was a Marvel universe.
Yeah.
He was a producer. He was the liaison between Marvel Entertainment and whatever production company was producing a Marvel movie for years. Blade.
Yep.
The original X-Men movies.
Yep. The Spider-Man films.
Daredevil. Spider-Man with Sony. I mean, he literally worked on all these movies.
As did Avi Arad, but he likes anything that he puts the Marvel stamp on.
So he has all of this experience producing superhero films, and he has seen what works and what doesn't. From a production standpoint, from an actual physical movie-making point of view. Mm-hmm. He has been on the ground, seeing how it all works and seeing what doesn't and what does. So not only does he have this vast knowledge of the comic book genre that he's lived with, with Marvel Entertainment and Marvel Comics, but he also is just an accomplished filmmaker. So when he sets himself up as, as the head of this creative and business organization, he understands both sides. And he approaches it using his experience, turning it into wisdom, and creating an amazing, built, fully realized universe, and doing something that only, by the way, everybody always says Marvel does this amazing thing where everything's connected. Star Trek did it first. I just want to point that out.
I don't even think it's that important that Star Trek did it first, but I mean, which is great. It is their property. But I mean, I would expect them to, because it's their stuff, Right. But this is the first time you take... Yeah, I guess I would expect them to with Marvel too. But I mean, it took years for people to go, oh yeah, we can do this.
Right.
And it's not just him. I mean, he's the leader. He's the leadership.
But he brings in the people that get the job done.
And they do a great job. Yeah. And they bring in great... They bring in great flavor. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that, and again, I'll use Ant-Man as an example, the fact that Ant-Man is a heist film and succeeds on that level, as well as still being a superhero origin movie, makes me very happy. I mean, that's really what I enjoyed. I enjoyed that I watched a different type of superhero film, and still had its layers of formula, but at no point did that formula drag down what we were watching. Again, underdeveloped villain, but that's like a trend that all these movies are having.
And Marvel, admittedly, they focus on their heroes, and that's part of their success.
Do you want to know what's really messed up? The one movie that gives equal attention to the hero and the villain is a total flop, is Green Lantern. Because we watch Hector Hammond develop as the villain, just as we watch Hal develop as a hero in equal time. And And that's one of the best things about that movie, even though that movie is so terribly flawed.
So speaking of that Green Lantern movie, Jeff Johns was on that movie.
Yes.
I think he may have even wrote it.
He had, yeah.
And he has now been brought in by Warner Brothers. And the thing is what my point, I guess, to the whole Kevin Feige thing is, like, Warner Brothers and DC, they don't have somebody like Kevin Feige.
No, they don't.
One person that does it. I mean, you could say it's Jeff Johns, but really,
But it was Zach. Prior to him, it was Zach. Everything was coming from him.
That's true. I mean, Zach was molding this universe,
Yeah.
but the thing, but then you go to Suicide Squad, and you find out all this stuff about studio meddling and executives doing this and that and making a trailer company cut the movie together and all this stuff, and it shows you that there is no one person that has a singular vision for this universe. And the only person that they had, Zack Snyder, it turns out nobody likes the way he's doing it. Nobody likes, I mean, it's interesting, and we've had this discussion before, so we don't rehash it, but I like Man of Steel. I very much like Man of Steel. Batman v Superman is another story. I like the Ultimate Cut, but it's not a fun movie to watch. No. You watch it once, you get the story, you see how it interconnects, you see them bring in Wonder Woman, and then you're done. You don't go back and rewatch it because it's like, hey, I want to put on a fun movie in the background while I clean the house.
I want you to know, of all the movies, I've rewatched Man of Steel once, right? I don't even own it. It's like, and I own lots of Superman memorabilia. I don't own Batman vs. Superman. But Wonder Woman, I've gone to the theater and I've seen it three times.
Exactly.
I saw Wonder Woman in real 3D for the opening, IMAX 3D with a friend.
Wow.
My friend came back from Germany this weekend, and we saw it in regular 2D on Sunday in the matinee. And every time I still have my issues with it, but those issues aren't so great that I'm not enjoying the film.
Well, what's interesting is
Plus, I really want it to hit that billion so bad. I don't mind that I've seen it 3 times.
I hope it does, because it's a movie that deserves it. And if it doesn't, I think Justice League has an opportunity to hit $1 billion, possibly more. I think the inclusion of Joss Whedon and increasing Wonder Woman's screen time. And advertising those facts.
Let me tell you something that I think would be a brilliant move, and I really hope they're gonna work on this. If we see Wonder Woman investigate the things she was leaping to in her movie, if Justice League opens with her encountering a mother box scenario or something like that, that would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic, because it was a little unclear, what was going on.
Right, for those of us who love comics, you hear that boom, and you're thinking, all right, Fourth World, Apocalypse, yeah, Darkseid, Wonder Woman, go investigate. I really hope that's what we get to see, because and also, I want to make sure she is Batman's equal. When we saw all of the earliest trailers of Justice League, all of them are very Batman Bruce Wayne heavy. It looks like he is taking on the burden of the movie of, I have to form this Justice League. I've got to do it. There's no Superman. We got to.
Sort of. But there's this scene where where he goes and talks to Aquaman, and then he comes back, and she's like, so is he going to join us? And he's like, well, more or less. And she's like, well, more or more or less? And he's like, more or less. And he goes, so she's not coming. It almost seems to me like they are working equally together.
Right, but I'm saying screen time wise. Character wise. I'm afraid that was not the case. I'm hoping now I'm hoping with edits it's more of the case, because also if there perhaps one of the cool moments in the movie could be, Aquaman didn't really listen to me. And she could be like, well, maybe he'll listen to a princess. And then, maybe I'm, whatever.
There's
maybe
definitely the potential for some great moments.
Yeah.
There. So DCEU passing $3 billion because of Wonder Woman.
Good news.
Woo?
I mean, it's because of Wonder Woman.
Because of Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Woo! Woo! So this weekend...
I'll be there.
You're going. Where are you going to go see it?
In the Poughkeepsie Galleria.
In Poughkeepsie? All right, because you live down there. I'm going to try to go to Kingston tonight and see it with some friends. So I think Adam and I are Adam's going. So, I'm.
It's so funny. You guys trekked down to Kingston.
Yeah.
Where do you see it in Kingston? What theater do you frequent in Kingston?
In the mall, in the Hudson Valley Mall.
Yeah, okay, I know that one. Listen, the guy who owns the one, the Poughkeepsie Galleria, a few years ago dumped a crap ton of money, and I fit those seats, and the arms come up, and all my favorite things about a movie. The number one favorite thing about a movie theater, I fit the seats right there. I'm gonna start loving you. The floors aren't sticky. Oh my god,
It's the little things.
I don't even when I go, I don't mind paying for concessions because they are pricey, but I realize it's what's keeping the theater open. Yeah. But every time I go, it is clean. Every time the lights come down, the ushers are waiting to come in and start sweeping and cleaning and wiping, and I love that. Yeah. I love that. So. Thank you, Regal Cinema 16 and Poughkeepsie for looking good and being clean. The bathrooms are clean. If you read my Google reviews of places, you'll see that I go on about the bathrooms. Or when I reviewed my barber, how there were clean towels. People don't think about this. I have been in salons with dirty towels. Who wants their hair cut there? Who wants their nails done in those places? What is this? Anyhow, Spider-Man, super psyched.
So join us for our new show on Fridays, It's going to be called Cliff Notes, where Cliff reviews local businesses in the area.
Don't give me more ideas. Don't give me more ideas.
So Spider-Man: Homecoming. This is going to be Spider-Man's first feature in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. It's his homecoming to the MCU.
It's his home. I know the title of this movie. I
love it.
It's so meta. It was confirmed earlier this week that the little boy in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, but
who tries to stop one of the robots was Peter Parker.
Yeah. Who confirmed that?
Well, Tom Holland and Kevin Feige.
With his big mouth. Because they told Tom Holland, they told him you need to turn in your script for Infinity War.
Oh, that's
you can't keep a secret.
Yeah, well, he's not alled to read the entire Infinity War
and so then he didn't turn his script, so he burned it on his Instagram. And then that's how I found out about, I am the, Spider-Man is the little boy in Iron Man 2. And then, of course, Kevin Feige had to come out and be like, yes, he is. Because God forbid people should have a surprise in the movie.
Oh, do you think it's going to be in this movie?
I'm hoping, because the way Kevin Feige approached it with you have such a big mouth, I was just
wow.
And what's so funny? What's really funny to me is they know he has a big mouth and they still love him for it because it's charming.
Yeah.
It's like you're ruining everything, but you charming little bastard.
Plus he's got that accent, so
he's got a lot going on. Okay. The things most of my friends call him.
So what are we looking forward to in this movie?
Zendaya's Mary Jane. I want to know all about it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh,
don't you dare.
Thanks for spoiling that for me.
That's not spoiled. That was announced over a year ago, man. What do you want from me?
I don't think...
Yeah, it's been announced repeatedly.
Has it been confirmed?
Oh, it was confirmed. There was a huge thing all over the internet about it because all these people are like, Mary Jane can't be African American.
Thought she was Mary Jane.
She's got to be Mary Jane.
I don't know.
Look at their lip sync battle. Look at their lip sync battle.
I heard she's not even in the movie that much.
Look, well, of course. It's Mary Jane. It's not Mary Jane Presents Spider-Man: Homecoming. Okay. But she's in the trailer as one of the people that Peter loves and cares about, whose Vulture is threatening. So, she's in it enough for us to care.
I don't know. I have not got that from the trailers.
You're not watching all this. I'm watching
unless,
it. Vulture's there I'll kill you and everyone you love. Cut to his aunt, cut to Zendaya, cut to his little friend who drops the Death Star in his bedroom. So it's clear to me who's important to Spider-Man. The trailer is a dead giveaway on that.
Sure. I guess you can interpret it that way.
It's not apparently I'm such a moviegoer that the trailers literally speak to me now.
They talk to you. You're the trailer whisperer.
I'm a trailer whisperer. No, because I swear to you, I remember even when I was watching The Sixth Sense, I was on this date with a guy, Mark, and I'm whispering to him throughout the first half of the movie, he's a freaking ghost. He's a freaking ghost. He's a freaking ghost. Why won't his wife look at him? He's a freaking ghost. We get to the end of the movie, and he's like, oh my God, how did you know? How could you ruin this movie for me? We did not have a third date.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I watch movies like if there's a murder mystery movie, like the first scene, you meet every character in the film. It's just like a new season of Flash or Arrow or any of that stuff. You meet everybody you're gonna meet in episodes 1 or 2. Flash, in theory, you meet everybody in episode 2 that you're gonna meet for the whole season. So I'll give him some leeway there, right, for season 3. But of course, the villain is Barry, so by technicality, the villain appears in episode 1. So you always know in the opening act you're meeting the villain. You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait for it. And when it's really good, when it's really, really, really good, you don't suspect them at all. You'll be like, Madam Guinevere, it was you? That man poisoned my entire village when I was a young girl. So when I saw the opportunity to ride the same railway as him and disconnect his car as we went over the Appalachians, I took my chance. 44 years in the making. I hope he rots in hell tonight. Madam Guinevere! That's a mystery movie.
So have you ever seen Clue, the movie Clue?
Of course, I love it. I love the alternate endings. I love everything. I love Clue.
What I was gonna say. There's
oh my
three
god!
endings to that movie. So
oh my god! Should we do like watch a movie night with with the
commentary?
audience? Right, like we watch it. We can watch Clue. That'd be so great.
The famous comic book movie Clue.
No. Actually, we'll just call it like Watch Night or something like that.
Sure, we can.
We'll watch something great.
So besides Zendaya as possibly Mary Jane, although I don't know if that's entirely accurate, what else are we looking forward to?
Zendaya and actually Michael Keaton.
Love
Michael Keaton. Love Michael Keaton.
I can't wait to see Batman versus Spider-Man.
I mean, he's playing Vulture. But you know what? Honestly, but
he's Batman.
We know that. He told the whole world just the other night on Jimmy Kimmel. He grabbed him by the chest and he told him, I'm Batman! But yeah, no, I'm in. Like, I'm so buying his Vulture. I love it. So I'm totally down for that.
Do you think this movie is going to set up a Sinister Syndicate movie? A Sinister Six?
Well, you saw what happened with the Sony thing, right? Where the woman from Sony is like, oh, we love these characters like Venom and Black Cat being part of the collective universe. And Kevin Feige
wait a second. Let's clarify that.
Right, let's clarify. And then it's like, yeah, they are. I need to see that script later.
I think that, not to get too far off a tangent of that, but I think that eventually they're going to be in it. I think they have to be.
I think I'm sure we're getting a Sinister Syndicate movie, Sinister Six. But you know what's really funny is that Sony has definitely been trying to get that.
Yeah.
They have definitely been trying to get that, and I'm sure now this will be their way of having it, or the opening of them having it.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they let Marvel handle the creative, they're just going to rake in the money.
Yeah, because that's a good deal to have. If only Paramount would just make the same deal with Hulk.
Universal.
I'm sorry, Universal. Who had Paramount? Paramount had Cap, right?
No, Paramount had the distribution rights to Iron Man and Avengers and all that stuff before Disney bought them.
Right.
So Avengers was actually distributed by Paramount.
Yes.
In name only.
Right. I'm sure they still made out like bandits.
And then Iron Man 3 was the first Disney distributed movie. So, but Universal holds because Universal did The Incredible Hulk.
Yep.
And Paramount did Iron Man. And Universal has the rights to distribute a Hulk movie.
Okay.
But, so if there was ever a standalone Hulk movie...
They're distributing.
Universal has the rights. That's why there is not, nor any plans to have a standalone Hulk movie because of the paperwork with that.
So enjoy Planet Thor Ragnarok.
Planet Thor Ragnarok Hulk.
Yeah. No, you can't. They can't be in the title.
Oh, that's right.
He's just there. Right. He's just there.
So I'm looking forward to the return of the Spider-Man character to his high school roots. I think that this style of movie, that John Hughes meets the MCU, is a genre that has not been explored in superhero movies.
But more importantly,
almost at all.
More importantly, I like that because God only knows we won't get another high school Spider-Man movie.
No, we'll probably get 2 more.
Okay. I'm just saying. I don't know if we will or won't.
I think that's why they hired a 19-year-old that looks like he's 12.
Well, he's 21 now, but anyhow, I mean, no, he looks great. He could listen. Please, I watched that show when I was a kid, the Secret Powers of John so and so, whatever. The guy was 28 playing a teenager, and I loved that freaking show. And of course they canceled it. It was good, and it was the 80s, so they had to cancel it. So, I wish I could remember things better. Like, I know I love the show, and it's in my head, but I can't remember the full name. So, okay, even if we get only one high school movie out of it, which, you know, we'll probably get more. But even if we only got one and we had to then follow them to college or something like that, it's cool because that pacing is excellent. The first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, I mean, it's like boom, high school, boom, college, boom, you know, like, oh, you're like wrapping up college and now we're living in our loft. You know, like
that was always so weird for me. Like,
yeah, it moved, it clicked at a very fast rate. So even if we only got one high school movie out of it, I would still be perfectly okay with it because that is Spider-Man, teenage Spider-Man, and I love that. You know, this is set at a time just shortly after. We're at a time where it's set shortly after, you know, Civil War, and which is shortly after he lost his Uncle Ben. So we're not getting a rehash of the origin. I mean, we will in some manner, but it's not going to be a grandiose, oh, look, it's happening again. Right. We don't have to watch the whole thing play out, you know, or at least we're not going to watch it play out. And maybe it'll be in a reflection.
I think what's going to happen is in the end, you find out the Vulture also had an uncle named Ben.
I swear to God, I will throw all the popcorn in the theater at the screen.
His name's Ben.
Although Hobgoblin, his uncle is Ben.
Really?
Yeah, it's Ben Urich, the journalist.
Sure.
From
Daredevil.
Yes, his nephew is Hobgoblin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
And so there's actually like a Spider-Man series that starts with Hobgoblin being like, I need Uncle Ben, right? And he calls him Uncle Ben the whole issue. Wow. It's so great.
All right, so I think we're both wooing for Spider-Man this week.
Oh, we're wooing. And let me tell you, if it doesn't live up to my expectations, the booing it will get next week. You're safe.
Good. I'm okay.
You're safe.
It's all right. I just, you know.
But for now, it's a woo.
So we'll let you know next week our thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming and
Yes.
if it's a woo or a boo.
Yeah.
But for now, let's move on to our final segment. What did we play?
Yay!
Woo! A preemptive woo.
A preemptive. Oh, right. You got to. Yeah, let me tell you, my woo is very mixed on that one.
I actually didn't get to play at all this past week, but last night, the reason why the show wasn't on last night, we're doing it today, is that we had our Dormammu Colossal OP event, and the format, it was constructed, and the format was 400 points, Modern Age Limited, and we used the ROC Limited rules, so no resources. No, nothing larger than a peanut base, so just the 1x2. No possessions at forced construction. No, and because ATAs are now Golden Age, there was no ATAs, and bystanders, theme teams, special objects, and relics. I think we're okay.
Okay. What relics do we even have in Modern?
Do we have any relics?
We have special objects like Harley's hammer.
Special objects, yeah. I guess.
And Batman's weapon cache.
Yep. There's a lot of special objects now.
The Venom suit.
Joker canister.
Yeah. The Atom thing.
So, so did you get to play anything this past week?
I actually did. I got to play a little bit of everything. I got to play some HeroClix. I got to play some DC Deck Builder. I got to play things. So Saturday, because I did say it was a very busy weekend for 4th of July. Saturday, my friend Johnny and, wow, there's a lot of Vinnies. Okay, so my friend Johnny and Vinny Odell. So we went down to New Jersey to All Things Fun to play their Dormammu event. Okay. Which was sealed. Sealed single booster.
What if?
Okay. Right? And, wait, was it What If? We were out of What If. So we had to use Avengers Defenders.
I was going to say.
Which my heart sank because you know If y'all didn't know, y'all don't know, but I am not in love with the Avengers Defender set. I mean, I like it, but for sealed, sick to my stomach. So anyhow, I'm like, but maybe I'll pull something good. Maybe I will. When I'm there, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I open. I don't even remember my team. It was garbage. I like threw games away. It was just like I was just like.
Do you remember anything that you pulled?
I think one of my guys was Ben Urich. You know,
you pulled Ben Urich.
Yeah, the one with willpower and whatever. Right? I think it was Ben Urich, and oh my god, it was like him. Oh, Captain America. Captain America was good. Captain America tried to perform.
Jeez.
So yeah, Ben Urich. Yeah, his movement power. At the beginning of your turn, you may choose an opposing character within 4 squares in line of fire. Until your next turn, the character can't use Mastermind or Shape Change. Do you know what I like about the reporters?
It's only 10 points.
He's only 10 points. You know what I like about the reporters? They're cheap, they have a great effect, and when I have Green Lantern Superman, those reporters are going to ruin lives. Because they're all going to sit there and be like, oh, we can see you. Lois says you can't use Power Cosmic. You know, Ben says you can't use Shape Change and Mastermind. You know, Jimmy and Lana say you can't have this. It's going to be so good. Reporters are going to rule. I can't wait. Oh, yeah, it won't be a theme team because Green Lantern Superman is a special case, but I'm gonna make it work. So, and of course he is Superman, so Lois can still use her power where I get defend from Superman, so I can ruin lives with this. I'm hoping for it. So yeah, so it just like Cap was good, and I had somebody with a little bit of I had the Doctor Strange that can carry 2 people, right? And I had Swordsman, he was my rare, and I had Whiplash.
Okay.
So yeah, Swordsman, Whiplash.
Whiplash isn't terrible.
I know, but do you know what I was up against? I mean, the savagery.
Well, if that's what you pulled, other people must have pulled super rares.
Yeah. So what did Johnny pull? Count Nefaria. Johnny pulled Count Nefaria, and the other guys pulled rares, and I just sat there and I ate it. I ate it for multiple games, and Johnny came in first place because Count Nefaria, and actually Count Nefaria wasn't his MVP, but because he was such a big juicy target, you know, with his running shot, psychic blast, invincible. Count Nefaria can use leadership and stealth. He has that will. He has a click with Count Nefaria can use invulnerability and regeneration. When he uses regeneration and has 1 action token, he doesn't subtract 2 from the D6 dice roll. Yeah, so Johnny's Count Nefaria lived and lived.
He's got Indomitable, so it's not like you're pushing to regen or anything.
No, but
that's
like that,
crazy.
That's amazing.
That's so good.
Super good. It was ridiculous. And 7 range, so he was just eating people alive.
Was it a 300 game?
So what we agreed upon, because we all had 1 booster to work with,
boy.
is we were going to assess the room, right? And we did. And I was the only one. And then we were all given the POG, right? Which was one side is Reptile Punisher, one side is Reptile Spider-Man, right?
Serpent Spider-Man,
Serpent Spider-Man, Serpent Punisher, and you chose
what are those
which one
from, by the way? What story are those from?
I honestly, I don't know.
Nobody knows. I've asked everybody.
Like I feel like they might be from the What If, where the Serpent Crown succeeded. I think that's the What If, but I can't remember because it was so long ago.
That makes more sense because I was like, why are they in the Dormammu kit?
Yeah.
Like,
but in the meantime, I can remember the Serpent Crown event and all the women being abducted across the Marvel Universe. You know, that I can remember. What a great cover too, with like Jean Grey and Storm.
By the way, the Serpent Spider-Man and the Serpent Punisher
are amazing.
Ridiculously good.
My Serpent Spider-Man never died in a single game. Serpent Spider-Man. Oh, Serpent Spider-Man was Johnny.
18 super senses.
18 super senses, and he was Johnny's MVP. Wow. He actually took more pieces out than Count Nefaria. Count Nefaria would like butter them down and
it's like charge.
No, it's hypersonic.
Oh, hypersonic.
Yeah, hypersonic, 11 attack. You know, super senses.
Empower? He's got Empower, right?
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Wow. Absolutely ridiculous. So he was huge in that game.
Those pieces are crazy.
They are, and the Punisher one is also pretty savage.
It's like running shot, Pensai.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Range combat expert.
He's got range combat expert. He's rough. So
15 points.
15
They both
points.
have Indomitable, so they're not taking the push. They're do 2 actions. It's crazy.
So this is where it gets embarrassing. So everyone else had like 265 or more.
Yeah.
Right? I had 215. So we played.
Your entire booster was 215
with the POG.
You guys didn't do a draft or anything? You just did
one
booster?
Right. We had So anyhow, but listen, they We're the guests. 3 of us were the guests. Yeah. Everyone else, there.
How many players?
I want to say there was 10 of us.
Okay.
Right? Everyone else was, this is how they normally enjoy playing the game. Okay. And then they even asked us, they said, listen, we did our main Dormammu event on Wednesday, right? And this is like our follow-up event. And, when we do our follow-up events on Saturdays, it's only first and seconds. And there's no fellowship. And, we just want to know how you guys feel about that. Right? And
it's nice that they were sort of accommodating.
No, they were. So of course, what happened? I look at my 2 friends, right? And I go, guys, what do you think? Let me know. And both of them are like, they're like, well, Cliff, we're just going to leave it up to you, whatever. And I'm like, well, we're your guests, so just do whatever you want. In the meantime, I'm like, we drove an hour and a half for this. I was like, I don't want to put up a fight with them over having fellowship or whatever. But I mean, we didn't know. We walked into this. So it was very nice. And really, they did a great job. AJ was wonderful as a judge. Very nice. He was our 10th player. He played the bye for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So that was fine. Of course, my second game was the bye with him. But yeah, and then I told my friends and also we ended up having a fabulous early dinner, late lunch afterwards. But again, it was pricier than one of us expected. And I said, you let me decide. We were at the car. I said, we can just have pizza right here, but you let me decide. And fabulous. The girl's name was Tina. It was like the Tappin' something or Tappin'. I don't remember, but it's beer everywhere. Huge bar. Tina's lovely. She's friends with Jason from New Jersey. And she knew what HeroClix was when she was talking
from
to us.
Highlander?
Yes, from Highlander Games. Yes, with the cowboy hat. She knew who he was. It was great.
That's awesome.
Great. So that was that. So we left there after dinner, drove to Washingtonville to Shiny Vinny's house, where we played another game of HeroClix with him till 11 o'clock at night, and all the Dormammus came out and everything. Wow. I had the Terror Titans team base and Captain Atom and some other figure. That Terror Titans team base. Oh my God.
The what?
The Terror Titans.
Oh, the building?
It's got Osiris and Deathstroke. I call them the Terror Titans.
Oh,
that's how I know
the Heroes for Hire.
Oh, Villains for Hire.
Villains for Hire.
Anyhow,
Villains for Hire TV.
There's a huge Titan storyline with Deathstroke's Terror Titans.
Right.
These are not the Terror Titans, but I always associate that with Deathstroke.
Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah, Villains for Hire. Great, but I guess Osiris. Great. So good. And then once I started popping figures off,
team bases are good, man. That's why
and then popping them back on.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then they heal back up.
Oh, and Vinny was using the Justice League team. Vinny O'Dell.
You guys were all using team bases?
Well, because they were using their Dormammu. So we were like, what are we going to use?
Let's break out the big guns.
Right, so Vinny's like, here, take Villains for Hire. I'll take the Justice League, and let's fight these guys.
Wow.
And then, of course, they knocked... somebody knocked, what's his name? Knocked Captain Atom to his click where he can explode.
Yeah.
And I failed the roll, so he just died like a punk. But Deathstroke came for the house. Deathstroke's, and we were using Johnny's 3D maps that he built, right?
Oh, they're so. We should get some pictures of that.
We absolutely. So I released Deathstroke on top of a building, and I'm just like, die Dormammu, die Psychic Blast, and so I actually pinged Dormammu a little bit, and it was great. And then my Terror Titans got down to 9 attack, close combat expert, and then he hit him again, and then they got running shot Psychic Blast, and I was like, what? And then I got the wheels, so my powers couldn't be countered. I'm like, this is amazing.
That team base too, you get double points when you KO. You pick up
when you kill the mark. So of course,
you kill the mark.
Dormammu was my mark, but again, I guess by the rules, it's only one Dormammu is the mark, right?
Right.
So Johnny's Dormammu was the mark.
2 versus 2 game or something?
It was every man for themselves. But of course,
right.
We were really concerned about the 2 Dormammus. But let me tell you, the winners were team base and team base. We did it.
Nice.
And then when Vinny...
The team bases were a team.
Yeah, so when Vinny, our host... and actually, the JLA team base actually exploded. It was Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman were on the map because Vinny had managed to get them off.
Yeah.
I think it was them, right? And because there's at least 3 members on the map or on the base, right? So he got them off. So that team base was out. So it was like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman fighting for their lives, and I actually still had a team base. And then of course, Vinny, who's hosting us, was like, all right, everybody get out. He was joking, of course.
Yeah.
But Vinny and I are like, we don't have to fight this to the death because my team base really was on its last leg.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're good here. We're totally good. But yeah, that was a good time. And last Thursday, I went to, oh man, I'm not going to be there tonight. And I told them I'm going to have to send them a message, be like, I'm sorry, I forgot about Spider-Man. So there is a bar near my house, up the road from my house. It's in New Paltz. And so it's like 12 minutes from my house or something. And I had a lovely chorizo burger there. I mean, this is like comics and clicks and food, right? So I had a chorizo burger. It was amazing. I love them, right? It's called Huckleberries. Huckleberries in New Paltz. Very nice. Off the beaten path, but great. So I ate there, and then of course they had lovely IPAs that were all over New York. Very good. And we went upstairs to play, and I brought DC Deck Builder with me.
Oh, right.
And I brought the Forever Evil edition.
I actually have a picture of the Rogues one, right?
Yes. Now, of course, Forever Evil is not new
Right.
for DC Deck Builder, but what it introduced was playing as villains, and it also introduced victory points that you accumulate as actual pogs of victory points that you can acquire and spend. As villains, whereas the normal game, it's a deck builder. You're trying to beat the villain deck and make sure you don't deck out. And when it's all done, everybody looks at the little star in the bottom left-hand corner of their cards to see how many victory points and tally up all your victory points for the winner.
Gotcha.
So they introduced Flash the Rogues as its own subset. Or in that whole Injustice Gang and the Crime Syndicate. What a game is all I can tell you. Because the victory points are flying because there's so many victory point effects in there. Now, this was just after I bought it. Before I bought it, a friend of mine introduced it to me. We mixed it with his regular edition of the game, and he didn't even have victory point tokens because he never bought the Faces of Evil edition. So we were using little dice.
Forever Evil edition.
Forever Evil edition. We were using little dice to count our victory points, right? So let me tell you how the victory points go flying. First, you're fighting against speedsters. So you'll see that Flash is right here.
Yep.
I believe that is the first Flash we fight against. Okay. So in typical fashion, when you defeat him, he leaves the game. And you score 6 victory points. But while that Flash is in play, the Rogues cannot use their game effect, which is called Teamwork. Right? So when I use Teamwork, I target one of the other players, and I give them a victory point. Right? So that they can spend, because they're the other Rogues. And we can spend victory points for different effects.
Gotcha.
So it's great. So per the rules, you take the mini deck that you were given when you have purchased, right? So you pick who your villains are going to be, and usually you do it blindly to keep it interesting. Yeah. And then you split the main deck of your game in half, right? And you mix this expansion into the top half and put that on the top so you know you're going to hit these cards. Yeah. And you play against the speedsters. Once Flash is off the map, so the cards that come in the pack trigger the teamwork. And you're battling speedsters like Jesse Quick and Earth 2 Flash and all of that. So and it's so funny. I had not played it with the Forever Evil expansion or the Forever Evil base set with this expansion. So we were really at it. We were like there all night. And of course, it's a bar, so we're drinking. The show is called Sprites and Dice. They have their own Facebook and Twitter.
I've heard of them.
They're very nice guys. So we were playing with them. Now I have to message them. And I made new friends, like Maureen, who was there, and nobody knew her age, and it was great. But her and I were throwing back the 80s jokes like nobody's business. Or there's another girl there playing with us. Her name was Kendall. And I was like, oh my God, did you know Sarah Michelle Gellar, before Buffy the Vampire Slayer, played Susan Lucci's daughter, Kendall Hart, on All My Children? And she was like, when I told her that, her face lit up. And this girl's like 21, 22. And she's like, oh my God, I love you for knowing all this. But of course, they all knew who Buffy was, so that was helpful.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good.
So, and then of course, Maureen high-fived me because Maureen knew exactly what I was talking about, because she was like, I would get home from school early and I'm sitting there watching All My Children, being like, that's the evil twin, watch out. That was a big storyline. You know. But anyhow, we had a really great time. And my God, we were really... The bar closes at 2, and we were there till like 11. Wow. And I was like, I got to work tomorrow. And Maureen's like, I got to work too. And we're like, come on, die, Flash, die.
So I've never played the deck builder. I've always wanted to. I think we have it here at the store, and if we don't, then I'm going to make sure we get it.
At one point, you did. I even told Steve, I'll be happy to demo it.
Oh, we'll set it up. We'll do it.
Yes.
But
I might even demo it for you right after this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome. You start off with
a superhero or supervillain.
So each player is a hero or a villain.
Yeah, and you have a unique ability for them.
Gotcha. And then you start with, I'm assuming, like a basic deck, and everybody starts with the same basic deck?
Right. Everyone starts with the same basic deck. It's 7 power and 3 vulnerabilities. So the vulnerabilities are useless, gotcha. And then the power is the currency of the game.
Gotcha.
It's power points.
And then you use that to purchase new cards into the deck.
Yes, that are laid out from the main deck in front of you. So it goes main deck, 5 cards, supervillain you need to defeat. Above the supervillain is your kicks that can be purchased for 3 power points. Below the supervillain is the deck of weaknesses
kicks?
cards.
What are the kicks?
It's just 2 power.
Oh, so I gotcha. I gotcha. So if there's nothing in the row you can buy, you can
exactly.
Always buy,
So you buy a kick. And then, of course, there's the weakness card. So the weakness card gives you -1 victory point when it's in your deck. And so here, this is cool. In the base set, right, there's a Bizarro card for 7 power. If you get the Bizarro card, all of those cards now become you get +2 victory points for every one of those cards. So now all those cards become 1 victory point, all the weaknesses, if you have Bizarro.
Of course.
There's also, and then the Bizarro you play as in Forever Evil. He doesn't have that. You play as him as superhero. He doesn't have that effect, but he has an effect that allows you to gain weaknesses to do. But I forgot what he does to do something. But there's other cards that allow you to burn weaknesses out of your discard pile to trigger effects with Bizarro. So yeah, Bizarro is nasty neat in the Forever Evil combo.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I love these mini expansions. There's a JSA mini expansion that was just reprinted. Grab it while you can. It was upwards of $40 when it was out of print. Now
JSA?
JSA. Now it's back in print. Awesome. You can get it. Legion of Superheroes, wonderful. Their game mechanic is time travel, right? So cool. So by time traveling, you temporarily can remove a card from the lineup and use it for your turn, and then it returns to the lineup because it was time traveling.
What?
Yeah, so that's
so
great.
Cool.
And all the Legionnaires have time travel effects, right? So like, and so you can, so a card that doesn't have time travel, you can make it time travel with one of the Legionnaire effects. You know,
it's like giving them a ring.
It's like giving them a Legion ring, like welcome to the Legion, right? Like that's awesome. So cool. Yeah. I love that. Or putting them in the time bubble, however you need to make it work in your head. And of course, their villains for the villain deck is like the Fatal 5 and stuff. So I love that. But yeah, this huge woo. I think you can see Magenta here as one of the cards. It's just incredible because she's magnetic, right? Like Magneto. She manipulates equipment cards. When you play her.
Oh,
so, I mean, I love it. There's you can actually play as Mirror Master. There's a Mirror Master card here. You also get Mirror Master's gun. You can do nasty. If you are Mirror Master and you get the Mirror Master stuff, nasty stuff happens. You can also play as Golden Glider, but you know what's cool? I was playing as Captain Cold.
Yeah.
So and a lot of Golden Glider stuff is coming out, and I'm like, well, she's my sister, so I'm gonna buy it. So I was buying her, and guess what? It worked really well for him. So I think it's funny that those cards happen to kind of work well together. And I was like, yeah. And of course, someone bought Captain Cold's gun right out from under me, you know. And then I bought Boomerang's Boomerang, Captain Boomerang's Boomerang. Yeah, it's a 7-cost card, but it was a bad mamma jamma. Yeah,
we'll definitely check that out. So one of the things I wanted to mention was that on the going back to HeroClix a little bit, on the HeroClix teams, a lot of people last night were running Bat Knight and or the Haha Joker.
Oh, Haha Joker's nasty.
So I want to talk about this figure a little bit.
He helped win Worlds.
Well, so I was having a conversation with Jacob Prairie last night, and he was telling, we were talking about, like, you know, being a competitive HeroClix player and stuff, and he said, look, he's like, you know, Green Goblin, Goblin King's great, Pick of Powers are great, you know, this figure's great, but anybody who wants to be a competitive player needs to buy this Joker figure.
Yes.
The Haha Joker. So for anybody who's not familiar with it, let's just do the rundown for this real quick. So he has a trait that says, when building your force, the Joker costs 10 points for each escape token you play on his card, a minimum of 3 and maximum of 5. When the Joker heals or takes damage, remove 1 escape token from his card for each green or red line crossed. When there are no, and there's one of each. There's one green line and one a red line, and it's halfway through the dial. So the green line is right before click 1, and the red line is right before click 7. When at the end of the game. When there are no escape tokens on this card, KO the Joker. At the end of the game, if the Joker is KO'd, your opponent scores no points for the Joker and instead scores 10 points for each escape token that was removed. Okay?
In the meantime, so am I paying the 50 points to put Joker on my force?
He costs 5 points. He costs 10 points for each escape token.
So if I put 3, he's really 30 points.
Correct. So that's the first thing is, like, he has 3 point values.
Yep.
50,
30 and 40.
30 and 40. Yeah. 30, 40, 50. Okay? And much like the old Super Legion, the old Superman and the Legion of Superheroes, Bizarro, he's variable. So you can fit him on almost any team. Mm-hmm. If you got 30 points to spare, 40 points to spare, 50 points to spare, you put him on. And you get the same clicks.
And you get
all the same clicks.
And free sidestep and free super senses per his traits.
He's traded sidestep and super senses. And he also has one other trait that says at the beginning of your turn, you may roll a d6 and have the result, so cut it in half. When you do, either heal or damage the Joker that many clicks, and he can heal past his starting line. Now, keep in mind that if he crosses a red line or a green line during that action, you're going to lose a token. Okay? Because it's both when he's healed, when the Joker heals or takes damage, remove an escape token from this card each green or red line cross. But if you take 3 clicks of damage, 4 clicks of damage, you haven't crossed any lines yet, you roll that d6, you can heal him back up.
Not to mention, you can now look at his stats in the back of your card. So you can very much figure
That's true.
what you're going to do.
With the new cards, you see exactly what click number is where on the dial, which is fantastic. So the first thing that... so his variable point cost is amazing, so you can fit in almost anything. The other thing is, much like Bizarro, no matter what point value you use him at, you're getting the same clicks. You're getting the outwit at the top dial. You're getting the 10 attack all the way through. You're possibly getting running shot, possibly getting poison,
charge,
plasticity, combat reflexes,
precision strike,
charge, precision strike.
With 4 range is useful.
Blades, exploit. I mean, there's a couple of great combos. The one combo that's not great is running shot, range combat expert.
Yeah.
But still.
It gives you choices.
You know.
If you possess him with Brainiac, that's even more horrifying fun.
So that's horrifying, but let's do something else. Let's possess him with...
Who's still available for possession? In Modern.
Is Proteus still available?
Proteus is still around. He's from the X-Men.
Yep. He's from X-Men, right? Uncanny X-Men.
Yep, there we go.
So let's pair him with Proteus. And let's see what we get. When building your force, you may pay 35 points to equip Proteus to a character of 100 points or less. Joker fits that qualification. When the equipped character is KO'd, you move this equipment to another character of 100 points or less. If you can't, place them on click number 10 in the square last occupied. Okay, so you're getting an additional figure. Mm-hmm. Not only are you getting a possession piece that moves from piece to piece, but you're getting an additional figure at the end when everybody else has been KO'd for 35 points.
Yep.
His second trait is effect, modify the combat values of the equipped character by +1. At the beginning of your turn, roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled. On a 1 or a 2, deal the equipped character 1 unavoidable damage. Oh, darn.
Yeah.
So, because currently you can choose the order of actions at the beginning of your turn, or the order of effects, because you're the active player. You do this first. If you
Yep.
roll a 1 or a 2.
Or roll the die first if you want for moving the Joker's dial. If you're nervous about where Joker is.
Right. Exactly. You can pre-plan it because you can say, I think you'd want to roll this one first because you got to know whether or not he's going to.
Or if you know that you're next to your red line or green line, you roll the Joker.
Oh, that's
first.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. If you're resting against one of those lines,
Yep.
then maybe you heal the Joker up before you do this. So again, fantastic synergy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts off with running shot, pen psi, invincible, and.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait, do you not get to pick powers?
You don't get to pick powers with him.
Oh, I thought you could pick
So
powers. You get the +1 combat values.
Right, the main thing for him is the +1 combat values because now Joker will have 11 attack and 2 damage to play with when you're lucky enough to land on those clicks.
So he becomes an 8 movement, 11 attack,
18 defense.
18 defense, and 2 damage, which is pretty good.
But you know what? When you're in stealth and outwit, it can be very helpful.
That is
5 range
true.
instead of 4
So
range.
5 range instead of perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But this is why I said let's take a look at Brainiac.
So the other thing is that when Proteus comes into the game, he's on a stop click that can't be ignored or outwitted.
Yep.
And
Only takes damage from...
He only takes damage from close attacks. Yep. And he has pulse wave and probability control.
Yep. Pretty freaking terrifying. With 8 range, so everybody in 4.
It's pretty good. And so first off, in order to KO the Joker at 50 points, okay, so it's 5 tokens. So you have to do 6, 12. You got to do that 2 more times, so that's 24. And then another 6, that's 30 clicks
of
damage. And that's if I don't heal him at all. Because if you do damage and then I heal him, that number of clicks just goes up.
But if I'm really lucky, you keep rolling 6s when you heal. Because it'll push you. It usually pushes you above.
Possibly. But you get to choose whether or not you roll with the Joker.
That's true.
That's insane. All right. So let's take a look. You wanted to take a look at Brainiac, which is World's Finest. Is that right?
No, Superman Wonder Woman.
Superman Wonder Woman. So let's look at the Brainiac. So
there
he says, for 25 points, so it's 10 points cheaper than Proteus. Equipment-friendly character. Okay, effect. At the beginning of your turn, after this character is clicked, you may choose 1 power on the equipped dial and 1 combat value on the equipped dial higher than this character's same printed combat value. This character can use the power and modifies the combat value by +1 until your next turn or clicked. And you match up the dials.
Now, here's the problem, though. Because he's KO'd on 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you do run the risk of losing this equipment.
That's true.
However, prior to that, you've got 7 juicy clicks.
And all of these combat values are higher than the Joker's.
Pretty much,
so you're getting even the range. You're getting a +1 on almost anything you want.
Yep.
He has pen psi. He's got sidestep, but you've already got traded sidestep.
You've already got traded sidestep.
He's got pen psi, impervious, and outwit.
Yep, which you only have outwit on 2 of your clicks for Joker.
That's correct. Then later on, he gets pulse wave, invulnerability, and a special power. Once per turn, when an opposing character is given a power action, you may immediately remove an action token from Brainiac.
Yep.
And how pickup powers work with possessions is you simply replace the character's name. So that would be removing an action token from the Joker.
Yep.
Which is pretty good.
So I like him, but he is problematic with the whole
he's a little problematic.
But it's good.
Possibly Proteus has other benefits.
Yes.
The Joker is indomitable, so you can go the 2 turns in a row with giving him actions. And then also on the last 2 clicks of Brainiac, on clicks 6 and 7, he does get regen. That's great if you're on click 6 with the Joker.
Yep.
Because that's right before his red line.
Yeah, and if you didn't have a good roll with Joker's, power,
you could pick regen and roll it right back up.
Yep.
So there are definitely some benefits to both of them. But do you think that you got to put the Haha Joker on a team if you're playing competitively?
I mean, he's just such a great distraction. And, I mean, you can also use him with the, what is it, the Joker gas?
The Joker gas. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot how that one goes. I'm telling you, there's so many things that make him a great, great stall. You know? He's just wonderful for keeping trouble at bay. While, you know, while you hang back with Hakeem or Goblin King and whatever, you know, unspeakable things.
Howard had this piece on his team.
Yep, absolutely.
Used it primarily for the outwit, for second outwit, along with Ironheart. So the Joker's gas canister, when this object is KO'd as part of an object attack, you may attach the Joker gas marker to the hit target. While the Joker gas marker is attached, that character can use Battle Fury and modifies its attack and damage values by +1 and defense value by -2. At the beginning of each of that character's turns, roll a d6. On a result of 5 or 6, remove the Joker gas canister. So, the first thing you'd want to use this for is if you want to nerf Nick Fury.
Yep.
Because then he can no longer make his ranged attacks because of Battle Fury. And his defense value goes down by 2. So now, you got a better chance of hitting him if you can see him. And he's not going to be coming after you. And Nick Fury is very much still in the meta right now.
Yep.
Because that set is the oldest set in Modern.
Yep. And not to mention, a lot of people are very happy to use him with Call in the Help.
That's true. Shield level 7 ID card, you bring him in, you do your thing. So you might even get a chance to put this on him.
Yep. I think I saw one team with Supreme Intelligence on Nick Fury.
That's pretty good.
And I was like, that's plenty terrifying.
What are the thoughts about putting the Supreme Intelligence on Joker?
It's a big dial, so it kind of works.
I mean, that's 30 clicks. You're gonna be able to charge up that Supreme Intelligence, possibly even bring Supreme Intelligence into the game.
Yep.
If you get to that click.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. This piece
and then Supreme Intelligence could just fire all over the board when he's the only one on the board, right? Yeah, it's great.
This piece is phenomenal. He's a super rare, so he's not like incredibly hard to find.
No, I think
it's a great looking piece. Yep. So I just wanted to showcase this piece a little bit because I feel like if you're playing HeroClix, you're gonna see this piece
over and over and
possibly
over
every week.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're playing
if you're always playing
that's a
Modern
or something, like you're gonna see this piece because it's just so versatile. It's so good, and the variable cost, you can almost put it on any team.
Yep.
The other thing I want to talk
especially Gotham City teams.
Gotham City or Arkham Asylum. Those are the two keywords.
But I think Gotham has the upper hand if you were forced into theme games.
Possibly, yeah. So all right. I think we'll move on to our outro. We'll sum up a little bit about what.
Did we talk about Bat Knight?
We didn't talk about Bat Knight. Do you want to talk about Bat Knight?
I mean, I finally won a Bat Knight, so I'm psyched about that.
Oh, you did? Well, let's talk about Bat Knight then.
Yeah.
So, Bat Knight is, he's a convention exclusive, 2017 convention exclusive. 8 range, 2 bolts. He has the Batman Ally and KC Kingdom Come team abilities. 60 points. Only 60 points. I was a little surprised at that.
Yeah, well, his stats get weird. So.
That's true. He's got Flight. He's got Indomitable. And he's giant size.
Yep.
His starting click is Sidestep, Precision Strike, Toughness, and Empower. And then later on, he gets Plasticity and Incapacitate. And then eventually he gets Regen.
And Traded Ram ability.
Traded Ram ability, which was such an underused ability when vehicles first came out.
Yep.
I feel like it's now amazing.
Yeah, especially with that Punisher man. Boom!
Boom. He also has a trait that's on a lot of the new KC pieces, which is Bat Knight's combat values can only be modified by powers or abilities from characters with the Kingdom Come team ability symbol. Bat Knight's powers and abilities can only be countered by powers or abilities from characters with the Kingdom Come team ability symbol. So this guy's cheap.
Yep.
He offers you some carry options. He can carry one standard size figure for free.
Yep.
Or tiny size. And he can carry somebody giant size or standard size in addition to that with his flight ability.
Yeah.
With the carry ability that comes from this flight symbol. He's got 8 range, which nowadays in this modern is
it's heaven sense. Yeah. Especially at 60 points.
Especially at 60 points, 2 bolts.
Yep.
So when you get down to that 12 attack incapacitate, you could use that to really slow down somebody's pacing. Plasticity is great.
Again, I'd be happy to possess him. Happy.
He's got, his starting click is 9 movement, sidestep, 11 attack, precision strike, 18 toughness, and 3 empower. So he's kind of a glass jaw, but...
Slap that Brainiac on there.
Again, we go...
Impervious,
But the RAM ability, for those of you who don't know what the RAM ability is... You give a character with the RAM ability a move action, and they use improved movement, ignores characters, and move along a direct path. So you got to go vertical, diagonal, or horizontal in a straight line. After the action resolves, you make a close attack targeting all opposing characters whose squares were moved through. Okay? So anybody that you move through, you're going to make one attack, and you're going to compare those values to the defense. Each hit character is dealt Bat Knight's printed damage. Printed damage.
Yep.
He starts with a 3 damage.
It's good, but then deal Bat Knight 1 unavoidable damage for each hit character. However, you could really smack up a team so good with this.
You hit 3 characters, you're going to land on regen. If you can last your opponent's turn, you can just regen back up and do it again.
Yeah, and then if you landed in stealth on that clear movement, you're good to go.
He also has the robot keyword, the Gotham City keyword feature, and Batman family.
If you bring a Toy Master along who can heal, carry him out with somebody, and then this guy does his damage, and then Toy Master can heal him immediately.
Is Avengers Assemble still in Modern?
It is not. No.
That's right, because it came out right before Nick Fury. I was going to say, if you're playing a Silver Age game or a Golden Age game, you can pair him with Justin Seyfried.
Yep.
So then you can give Justin Seyfried a power action, give him a free
I think we still have a couple of interesting robots in Modern. It's just not as interesting with Justin.
Yeah.
Without Justin.
My favorite thing to pair Justin with is the Superman Batman robot.
Oh, my Lord. And see, that thing is deadly on its own.
Yeah. You give it the extra action, and then the next thing you know, it's like, whoa. Look out. So some great options with this. He's got stealth with the Batman ally team ability.
Yeah, and then lots of extra defense.
Single base figure, so you can hide him in the stealth, even though he's giant size. He's got giant reach at 2, so he can reach out and whack other people.
That Kingdom Come team ability.
Kingdom Come team ability, which has been updated recently. When a character would be hit by a ranged combat attack, if the attacker doesn't have the Kingdom Come team ability, you may roll a d6 on a result of 5 or 6. This character evades the attack and it's uncopyable, so it's like a super senses for ranged attacks.
Yeah, and you want to talk about cheap characters. So yes, obviously he's not haha Joker level. But I think, price point wise, it's great.
You get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yes, you
do. The precision strike,
the RAM ability,
the RAM ability, the
Kingdom Come,
double carry, Kingdom Come,
Batman ally for stealth. Yeah,
the empower. You can give a boost to a close attack if you can get in there.
He gets into plasticity for when it starts getting really ugly,
and incapacitate, and has a 12 attack.
Yep.
I mean, that's bonkers.
Yeah.
Great support piece, I think. And
absolutely.
Possibly a tertiary attacker if you need it.
Yes.
Or a secondary attacker if you're in the mood.
With 8 range and 11 attack, very much.
So, some great options with him. Again, I saw a few of these last night in the event as well.
Could you imagine this with the Punisher van dishing out weapons?
Oh, jeez.
Because then it could get one of those weapons too. And he already has 8 range. Yep. So, amazing.
And then he can carry. I mean, he could carry Punisher around.
He can carry
if he
Punisher.
needs to.
Yeah.
Drop him off and then have him.
Especially if you blow up the van and Punisher rolls out.
Yeah, and then Punisher can pick up the weapons. I think he gets them for free, doesn't he? He gets to pick them up for free.
I think so.
He
I haven't
definitely
used it in
gets
a
to
while.
pick 'em
I
up for
used
free.
it in the ROC event where I was like, it's new. I'm gonna just try it. I'm just running.
I
people
played it
over.
once. I played it with the Turtle Van.
Yeah.
And Leonardo because. Leonardo and Punisher both have soldier keywords, so it was actually a theme team, and then they get their vans added to the force, and it doesn't break theme, even though neither one of them have the soldier keyword, but it doesn't break theme. So it was a soldier theme team with Leonardo and
that's scary.
So it was just the two vans rolling out, and I mean, my opponent had White Rabbit and Jaina Hudson on the other side of the map, and I just Punisher van 2 turns, rolled up, popped out, grabbed the sniper rifle, and took a shot on Jaina Hudson, and I missed the attack, but that's another story. Anyway.
Well, we have lots of Punishers now to use that Punisher van.
Yes, that's true. All right, so let's get into thought bubbles, our final thoughts. Super excited about Spider-Man tonight.
Super excited.
Some upcoming stuff that we're looking forward to is we're hosting the ROC State Championships for New York on July 29th. So hopefully I'll see you there. It is Modern Age, 300 points Modern Age. So we'll get to see a lot of these figures. Probably
it's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna be
ugly. I can't wait. I'm gonna show up with Hakeem, Supreme Intelligence, Brainiac ship, the Bat Knight, and be like, bah! Actually, Brainiac ship. Nah.
Yeah, I have both Brainiac skull ships. I've only played the.
I'm really gonna go to town. I have Haha Joker too. I'm gonna bring some nastiness.
You should. I mean, it's it's the current meta.
I can't. You know what I loved, and I know people are against me, but I loved Kyle Rayner with the green battery.
Yep.
Because what I liked about it was that anyone could do it.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't backbreaking, and I'm more about inclusion.
Yeah.
In the game, and also it's like super cool thematic because it's Kyle and the green battery, and like it has like comic book authenticity behind it, and even if you're using President Luthor as part of it, it's okay because Luthor would totally do that.
Yeah.
He totally would. To win this battle, I have to manipulate the Green Lantern. Yes.
Sure. I like the fact too that the two figures that we just talked about that are the Joker's almost a must-have, but even Goblin King is a must-have. Is potentially a must-have.
Yeah.
They're super rares. They're not chases.
Yeah, but they're costed way above what they should be.
That's true, but there's still enough of them out there that I think they can fulfill. I mean, we had players last night that were here that pulled 2 of them. Yeah. So they had them.
Well, the good news is with the ratio on Joker's Vial, your odds are pretty good in getting Haha Joker.
Yeah.
And actually, because what if it's a smaller set, your ratio, getting Goblin King is not too bad either. Johnny did pull 2 of them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I pulled 1, and another guy, and Billy pulled 1 at the same sealed event. So, so we've got some other events coming up. Kerwin's here is having a grand reopening this weekend, and we're doing I think it's a 300-point Modern Age grand reopening tournament on Sunday. We're going to have some special prizes. There'll probably be at least 1 Dormammu thrown in there. We'll be giving away resources to people if they don't have them, other prizes for monthly LP kits and stuff like that. So, and we're giving, I think the top prize is a Gray
Gauge?
Gray Gauge,
is that his name?
Yeah, Gray
Gauge.
The
one from the Alliance.
And Vampire Wolverine, the convention exclusives are the top prizes. And we've got a bunch of other stuff happening at Kerwin's Games. So if you're in the Hudson Valley area, stop by. Everything starts, we'll be giving away prizes from noon on Friday until midnight on Friday.
Exit 21 off the Thruway.
Exit 21 off the Thruway, right in downtown Catskill. If you're not local, check us out at kerwinsgamestore.com. We have HeroClix singles, and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and all your tabletop gaming needs. And we want to thank Kerwin's for hosting us.
Absolutely.
And as you can see behind us, we have comics. Although this is the old setup.
Yeah.
Since the remodel,
we're going to have to take a new picture.
Do a new picture of that. So. So yeah, we look forward to your feedback. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, shoot us a direct message, or leave a comment below on the Facebook or YouTube. Please do so. We'd love to hear your feedback, and if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss. So until next time, I'm Tony Cox.
I'm Clifford Parmenter.
And you've been watching Read, Watch, Play, and we'll see you next week.
The fighters are ready! Daddy is ready! The refs are ready! Are you ready?
Correct exemplar on turn 2, attack you for 7.
Whoa.
We'll see
Have
you
a
next
good one,
week.
guys. Thank
12:30. We'll be back and better than ever.
Oh, I'm doing a dab.